welcome back to my channel. My name is Janet and I have lost over 100 pounds following the ketogenic diet. On my channel you will find a variety of things in order to help you on your weight loss journey, so welcome. Please consider hitting that red subscribe button. We would love to have you join the family here. If you're one of my returning subscribers, welcome back. I've missed you. If you would have noticed, I did not upload on Wednesday. My daughter Jenna had come down to visit for about 4 or 5 days actually, so it was so nice catching up on with her. And Cove was here, which is her dog, so it was so nice. Aries and Rosie got to play with Cove. They miss her so much, and I think Cove really misses them as well. They always get along so well. And yeah, so we just spent time together, and then we had a busy few days because we had a big snowstorm here. So winter has hit southern Alberta. We had a huge snowstorm. I guess it was about a day or two ago, and it was actually the day that Jenna was leaving to go back to Banff. So Banff is about 4 hours away from where we live, and it is in the Rocky Mountains, so they always get a lot more snow than what we do. However, we were under a heavy snowfall warning, and we got, well, they were calling for 10 to 20 centimeters, and for sure we got 20 centimeters. It was a lot of snow, and the problem with that, with the snow, was it was kind of like around the 0 degree mark. So it started out as rain, and then as the rain fell, and then over the course of the next couple hours, it started freezing. So it was slushy, and then that slush had froze, and then the highway was icy. It was pure ice. Me and Zoe actually came back from town that day as well. Jenna was on her way to Banff, and it took us probably about an hour to get from the city to where we live, which is usually about a half an hour commute, and we were only able to go about 50 kilometers on the highway. It was pure ice. It was crazy, and I was so worried about Jenna, but she did safely get to Banff. But it took her 7 hours, which normally that trip will take her about 4 hours, but it was the same scenario. The highway was pure ice. They could only go 50 kilometers an hour, but I was just so grateful that she got home safe. I'm telling you, like, the whole thing living in Banff is she walks everywhere. So when she lived at home, she drove everywhere because we live out of town, and we live, you know, half an hour away from the city. So our girls are constantly driving to town because we have no amenities where we live. We literally only have houses, and there is nothing here. So you have to go to town for literally everything. And she drove all of the time, Jenna did. So now that she lives in Banff and walks everywhere, she doesn't drive a whole lot. So she was very nervous about driving because she's just not used to driving, right? But I'm just so thankful that she got home safe and her car is parked and she can walk everywhere, because she says they have a lot of snow in Banff right now as well. So it is crazy. We are kind of calling today like a snow day because they haven't really plowed a lot of the highways or sanded or done any of that. So today is just a home day, which I spend a lot of days at home anyway. So, but yeah, it's crazy. But today I thought that I would share with you a few different ways to make wings. So I'm going to share with you, I have only about a dozen wings that I have here, and I'm going to show you a few different ways, but I'm only going to make like 3 or 4 wings of the certain kind, because I do want to show you different ways to make it, but I don't want to have a ton of wings because it's only Jimmy and I. And but I do want to try them and compare all of the flavors, because some of these flavors I've never even tried before. So that is what today's video is all about, is I'm going to be making wings different ways in order to keep you on track with your weight loss goals. Chicken wings are always a favorite, right? So let's get into the video. All right, so I have a Consori air fryer. I just started it. You can probably hear it, but I am preheating it because I'm gonna make all of these wings in the air fryer. So what I plan on doing is preparing all the wings. I'm gonna dry them off really, really well, and then I am going to put them in my air fryer to cook. And then after they are cooked is when we are going to be mixing it with all of the different sauces that we create. So I am just going to start by patting these all dry. That's usually what I do with all of my chicken wings, whether I make them in the oven or the air fryer. I always pat them dry because they tend to get a little bit more crispy once you dry them off. I know some people will put salt on them and then let them sit for a while to draw out the moisture, but I just pat them dry, and you know what, they always turn out really, really good. I know another thing that a lot of people do is do the coating with the baking protein powder, I believe, but I tried that once and it just didn't work out for me. So it actually ruined all of the wings that I made, so I just have never tried that method again. I prefer to do them, just dry them off and putting them in the air fryer and then adding all of my sauces afterwards. So we are just going to dry these off, and then we are waiting for our air fryer to come to temperature, and we will cook them in the air fryer. So I'm just going to put all of the chicken wings in the air fryer. I just cook my chicken wings on the bone-in chicken settings that I have on my air fryer, and they always turn out perfect. I usually flip them halfway. So we are putting those in the air fryer, and then let's get started on all of our sauces. The first one that we are going to make is going to be the honey garlic butter sauce. I halved these recipes because I knew I was just kind of trying them. Feel free to even make the recipe in full, or even to double the recipe if you do have a lot of wings. But we are going to start with the 1 tablespoon of butter, as you see there in my saucepan. We are just going to melt that, and then I am also going to be adding some garlic. Now, all of these, I love garlic so much. I'm not sure about you, but I'm telling you, garlic, I absolutely love it. So I recently bought this jar of chopped garlic, and I'm so glad that I did. It was very inexpensive at the grocery store. So I think it was like $3 or $4. So please make sure that you check it out when you're at the grocery store. So once that butter is melted, then we are going to add some garlic. Now, I just put about a teaspoon of the chopped garlic in the pan because I love garlic so much. I really like things really garlicky. But definitely it says in the recipe that you can use 1 to 2 cloves of garlic chopped. So just up to you how much you want to use. And we are just going to kind of fry that up in the pan. We are not going to like burn it or anything like that. We just want to get some color to the garlic. So I'm just using a spatula and just going to fry it up in the butter, literally for only a minute or two, not very long whatsoever. I have this on a low heat, and I think I moved it up maybe to like in between low and medium, just so that the garlic would cook a little bit. But after that has cooked for a little bit and you get some color in your garlic, we are going to add about 1 tablespoon of golden sweetener. So like I said, the recipe is down below and I'm only halving the recipe. So we are going to use 1 tablespoon of the golden sweetener. So we're going to add that to our butter and garlic. Next, we are going to add some liquid aminos. This is what I use in lieu of soy sauce, and you're going to add about a teaspoon of the liquid aminos. And then I couldn't find any sugar-free honey at my store. I literally looked everywhere and I could not find any sugar-free honey. So I did use actual honey. And although this is probably low carb, you're only adding a teaspoon of honey, so it's not a lot, but just be aware, obviously this is probably on the low carb and not necessarily keto, but if you have sugar-free honey, be sure to use that instead of like the full-fledged honey. I just did not, so that is what I used. And that is it for this first sauce. All of these sauces are very, very simple. I'm telling you, I highly recommend making all 3 of them like I'm showing you here today and mixing it up a little bit, because if you have like 12 wings or a pound of wings, I like to mix it up. I don't necessarily like them to all be one flavor. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't. So this was a really good way to change things up. And these were so very, very easy. And I guarantee you, you probably have all the ingredients in your cupboard right now to make at least one of these sauces for your wings. All right, let's move on to the next sauce. And this next sauce is going to be Korean style sauce. So I am starting out by adding in my liquid aminos first. So I am adding about a half of a tablespoon in my pan. And I was kind of worried about this one being too spicy because it does contain sriracha. However, I didn't find it spicy at all. Next, we're going to add some golden sweetener. We are adding about a half a tablespoon of that as well. And then we are going to be adding our sriracha. So about a half a tablespoon of sriracha. And then of course we are adding more garlic to this sauce as well, which I'm so happy. So I think the mixture of the liquid aminos and the golden sweetener really offset this sauce, so it wasn't spicy. But you can obviously add more sriracha if you do like things really, really spicy. I just do not. I am not like a spicy girl whatsoever. But I did want to have options for those of you that like things spicy. So we are just going to mix this all up, and it is going to thicken while we mix it up. These don't take long at all. I also wanted to mention that, that all of these sauces, within all three of them, probably took me about not even 15 minutes to make. They were really, really simple and really, really quick to make. And I just made them while my wings were air frying in my air fryer. So doesn't take long at all to make all of these recipes. So that is it. We're just going to mix it up, let it thicken a tiny little bit, and then our second sauce is all done. As you can see, I don't have a lot of sauce, but this sauce here was enough to cover about 4 wings. So if you wanted to double the recipe or anything like that, if you wanted to make them all the same flavor, just go down to the recipe that I have linked below, and you can kind of determine on how much to make from that. And next we are doing our third and final recipe. Now this one was actually really, really good. I was super surprised by this one. This one is going to be our maple chipotle sauce one. And this one, I want to say, might have been my favorite actually. This one was really, really good. We are starting with 1 tablespoon of sugar-free ketchup. We are going to measure that out and add it to our fry pan. And like I said, I'm halving these recipes that I'm showing you here today. So next we are going to be adding a tablespoon of the sugar-free maple syrup. So I am a huge fan of the Walden Farms. I actually like a lot of their products, and that is my favorite maple syrup, sugar-free, that I can find to date. So I know you guys in the States have a lot of options, but unfortunately here in Canada, we don't have a lot of options for sugar-free maple syrup. But definitely the Walden Farms is one of my favorites. So we are adding a tablespoon of the sugar-free maple syrup to that. And then next ingredient actually is going to be the apple cider vinegar. Now I don't have apple cider vinegar on hand. I'm going to add my spices first actually. So we're going to add some garlic powder, and then we are going to add some dry mustard. And I didn't have on hand onion powder, but I did have onion flakes. So you will see me add onion flakes instead of the onion powder. Still turned out really, really good. And then at the very end of it, like I said, I didn't have apple cider vinegar, but then I thought to myself, I can probably use just regular vinegar instead, because it still will kind of give the same effect. I imagine it probably kind of wanted to offset the sweetness from the maple syrup. So I ended up using just some vinegar, and it was only about a half of a tablespoon of straight vinegar, and it worked out fine. This recipe for this sauce was delicious. All of these were so good. You definitely have to give these a try. I'm telling you, it's a great way to switch up your sauces and just so that you have something different rather than plain old wings with blue cheese dressing or with ranch. It just really changes things up, and I'm telling you, this was such a nice change from just regular old wings, because I love wings and I never want to get sick of wings. But I feel like a lot of the sauces that I do like teriyaki or honey garlic, like all of those sauces that I buy over the shelf, is just way too many carbs. So these recipes are great to switch things up so that you get a variety when you are having your wings. So here you can see I'm just adding some plain white vinegar, and it still turned out really, really good. So please make sure that you try at least one of these recipes that I'm showing you here today. They all turned out fantastic and gives you just a variety rather than having plain old chicken wings. All right, we have our sauces all here. I know it doesn't look like very much. I will have the recipes for all of these linked down below. There even is a couple more if you wanted to try a different variation. But I'm only putting like 3 wings in each one of these because it's just kind of a taste test to see which one that I like better, and I definitely wanted to share these with you. Instead of just having plain wings, you can actually have like really good sauces that are keto friendly or low carb friendly that you can enjoy. So our wings are all done, so we're gonna put about 3 in each of these and we are going to taste them all.
I've been running round in circles, screaming out your name. Take me to a different place. Just the 2 of us and we can stay up all night, kissing under streetlights, doing what we want to, doing what we need to do, staying up all night. Everything is alright. Oh, I wanna be with you. Oh, I wanna be with you. Let me be the someone who can hold your hand. Can understand how you make me feel. I got you in my head. Oh, I wanna be with you. Oh, I wanna be with you. Let me be that someone who can hold your hand. I don't even know if you can understand how you make.
Alrighty, we are ready to taste our chicken wings. So let's start with the first one. Let's start with the first one, and the first one is the honey garlic butter sauce, and I feel like this is going to be my favorite, but I'm not 100% sure. But let's give this one a taste. That one is really good. I really like the flavor of that one. Next one we are going to try is going to be the maple chipotle one. And I'm pretty excited about this one. The one that I'm not excited for is the one that I added the sriracha to, because I'm not a fan of like really hot and spicy things. So I'm kind of nervous about that one. That's why I left that one to the last, but let's taste this one. Oh my. That one is really good. Wow. That one was really, really good. And then the last one that I made is the Korean style one. Unfortunately, I didn't have any sesame seeds. I thought I did up in my cupboard, but unfortunately I don't. So definitely you can add those as well. I just didn't have any, so I didn't put any on, but let's give these a taste. These are the ones that I'm kind of nervous about because I feel like they might be a little bit spicy with the sriracha sauce, but let's give them a taste. Surprisingly, that is not spicy. No, that one isn't spicy. You guys, these were all so good. I highly recommend that you guys do what I did and try like 3 or 4 different sauces, because this is what makes it really, really good. You get the variety of flavors instead of just having one flavor for all pound of wings that you're eating, or however many wings you're eating. But I really, really loved all of these. I thought that the first one that I tried, the garlic butter ones, were gonna be my favorite, but honestly, I must say the other 2 were really, really good, and probably are my favorite, were the final 2 that I did taste. So highly recommend you guys trying these. And there is a couple more recipes for wing sauce that I did not make in today's video, so please feel free to try those as well. I will have the recipe for all of the wing sauces in the description below. Great, actually a really, really good recipe that I found. It's one recipe with all different sauces, so make sure that you give them a try and just kind of change up the way that you have chicken wings. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and it gives you many options to have just instead of your plain old chicken wings. So please make sure that you give them a try. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure that you like this video. Make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss another video that I put out, and we will see you guys next time.